Hello and welcome to a Homespun House. My name is Molly and I'm the dyer behind a Homespun House, and I will be spending a bit of time with all of you today who would like to sit and join me for some chatting about knitting, daily life, and anything that comes to mind. As I mentioned last time, I feel like I have been just really quite monogamous while not being completely monogamous. I feel like I've been quite monogamous on just a few projects, to be honest. I'm really happy to be speaking with you again. It's only been a week, which is fantastic. It feels really, really nice. And I'm very excited about the things that I'm knitting on and working on. So I feel like that's just a wonderful feeling as a knitter. I'm just so excited about what I have knitting wise, what I have job wise, what I have life wise coming up. But one thing that I've been working on is my socks that I showed you all last time in my Lou Lee project bag. Lou Lee has a shop on Etsy. I mentioned her last podcast, and quite a few of you had a hard time understanding what the name was of Lou Lee's shop. So as you can see, it's just right down here, and you can look it up on Google or Etsy, and you can go and have a look at what Lou Lee has in store. She makes beautiful, beautiful project bags, circular needle cases. Now she's started sewing with leather, so she makes DPN cozies. Just a lot of really, really nice, great quality items. So I am working on, yet again, the Cozy Knitter socks in, I'm not one who is constantly looking at colorway names or thinking about the name of the colorway as I'm knitting it, but this is called Gingerbread House. And I love it. I was knitting these on the way home today from our holiday home. If you haven't been following my Instagram stories, you 100% should be. I generally, now that I say that right now, I've realized I haven't put out a story today. I generally am filming throughout the day on Instagram, and it's really fun to share a bit of my day. It's not always job related. I would say especially on the weekend, it's definitely not. During the day, it's a little bit more so job related. You might hear some music that I'm listening to throughout the day. You might see a little bit of me knitting. You might see me talking about surprise yarns that I'm going to show into the shop. But anyway, if you didn't see on Instagram stories, we've been at the holiday home very spontaneously and had the most fantastic time. I think that this was probably one of the nicest times that I've had at our holiday home. Each time that Ruby took a nap, Robert took a nap with her, and Elodie and I went down to the lake and probably had 3 hours to ourselves each day. Just the two of us spending time at the lake, swimming and chatting and playing, and it was a really, really special time. Now, Elodie and I sometimes, take a bit of time to ourselves to go and do something. May it be have breakfast somewhere where we'll then take games, card games, and maybe even a small dice game to play, and we'll spend a few hours there. We've gone and done ceramics before, and I really like to take time to do those things with her, but something about this was just really different because there wasn't a specific activity that we were doing. It was really just us being together. And we do that all the time, but something about this just felt so raw and different. So it was pretty, quite a bummer to leave, but the weather is getting quite cool there, and it definitely wasn't swimming weather, and we have the cats here, of course. So we had the neighbors looking after them, but they've gone on holiday now, so we had to be home today. But I really had a fantastic time. So anyway, on the way home from our holiday home, I was knitting on these socks, and I just have to Kitchener the toe. So I have the first one finished. These are definitely for myself. I love the way that they've knit up. I'm knitting them on size 2mm Knit Pro Zings, and I think these are my favorite double points that I've used to date. I have knit quite a bit with the Zings, and those were my favorite until I tried the knit, or the, I think I just said the Zings. Did I just say the Zings? I mean the Knit Pro Carbons, but the Knit Pro Zings are now my favorite. I don't know what I'm doing when I knit, but I often bend the needles, so they're definitely not straight, and I kind of have a little bit of a wonky needle as I'm knitting, but it doesn't bother me. It's kind of fun and kind of cute because it makes me think about my Grandma Sue, because I can definitely think about borrowing her DPNs and noticing that they were bent as well. She knits on a 2.5mm needle though. I know you're all very interested to know that. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying this. This is a fingering weight yarn, striping. As you can see, I did decide to go ahead and not put a self-striping, or I mean a contrasting heels, cuff, and toe, which did come with this yarn in just a natural toned color, which would have paired very nicely. I, however, was, I don't want to say too lazy, because I feel like that's such a negative word. Because it wasn't like a negative experience. I just didn't feel like winding that up. I just was enjoying knitting on these so much that I just wanted to keep knitting. And so I did. So like I said, I'm happy with these. And on my socks, I have my Happy Birthday Harry cookie cake that Hagrid made for Harry in the Philosopher's Stone. Or Sorcerer's Stone, depending upon where you're from. And this was a collaboration that I did with Chelsea of Sucre Miniatures. I had her put the cake into a cookie, and I think I might have quite a couple of these left in the shop if you want to snag one. I adore them. They're such a special charm. I almost never repeat charms that I do for clubs. And these ones are just too special that I felt like it was a little bit sad for club members not to get this charm, especially if you're a hardcore Harry Potter fan. So the yarns I definitely never will repeat, but I have this one, and then do I have another one that I've repeated? I don't think so. I think this is the only one. Yeah, I know a lot of people have asked if I could go ahead and do the cake. Again, the one that Dobby tried to pop on Petunia and Vernon's guests, because he didn't want Harry to go to Hogwarts because of the chamber being opened in the Chamber of Secrets. So anyway, I love this Progress Keeper. It is one of the favorite Progress Keepers that I've done for Harry Potter Yarn and Charm Club. But, so yeah, that's keeping me happy right here. And I just have to finish the toe. As I said, I'm going to Kitchener it, and then I'll cast on the other one. I'm still not crazy for socks, but I do really want a pair of Christmas socks, and I am enjoying knitting on these. I just feel like there are other things that I want to be knitting on. Like I mentioned last time, I just have sweaters on my brain, and I feel like quite a bit of people do, to be honest. I feel like a lot of other podcasts that I'm watching, so many people just want to be knitting on sweaters, and I couldn't agree more. So this is fun to knit. I'm not wishing them away by any means, but I will be happy when they're done. The next thing that I have been working on is my Ziri pullover. You guys, I was hoping, my bag just fell. I was hoping so badly that, was it? Yeah, I just filmed a week ago. I was hoping so badly that this pullover would be finished by Friday. It is Sunday now. I was hoping that this pullover would be finished by Friday. I didn't even work on it. I worked on it a little bit here and there. I put a couple of rows in. I think probably 14 rows in. And I'm so bummed. Like, I was positive that I would have that finished because it's literally just an arm with very simple decreases and then binding off. I haven't woven in the ends yet, so I still have to do that and then obviously block it, but really I could sit and do this in an evening if I really wanted to. Now granted, I would have to be awake for a while and knit quite a bit, but I definitely could finish it in an evening. And even if I put a little bit of work on it each evening, it could have been done. So I'm frustrated that wasn't finished, but it's okay. I'm frustrated, but it's okay. That sounds like I'm trying to validate the fact that I didn't do it, but or have the ends? No, they definitely haven't. So I'm still working on the arm, and there's really not much progress to show you. Like I said, last week I finished the textured section, and this week I've just knit a bit of stockinette stitch. So I'm knitting on my Knit Pro DPN Zings yet again, and I'm using 4mm needles for this. This is a Homespun House yarn in our Water Reservoir DK soft sock. So it's a 75% superwash merino and a 25% nylon. And I really like it. I don't know if this necessarily is going to be a garment that I block. I might spray it, but I don't really think that it needs any blocking. But I'm really happy with it. I think it will fit and look really nice on and be very warm to wear. The only reason I say I don't know if I'll block it, just because superwash stretches so much. It becomes so long. It doesn't necessarily stretch a lot width-wise, but in length it does. And I knit this to be a bit of a cropped piece. And I'm not sure how many skeins exactly I used. I would say that this in the end will probably take, I think this is my 3rd skein of DK, but that sounds really wrong. I feel like that's not enough. 1, 2. But I'm pretty sure it's my 3rd skein. It could be just digging into my 4th, but I'm almost positive it's not. I'm 85% sure it's just the 3rd skein. So I'm enjoying knitting this, and I don't think I will need another skein. So it's got to be 3 skeins. I'm knitting the smallest size. So, all right. The final thing that I have been knitting on is like the Glory project. This is so much fun to knit. I feel like the last time that I enjoyed a project this much was when I was working on Stephen West's Marled Magic for the Mystery Knit Along. By the way, how excited are you guys that he's announced that this was quite a while ago, so I know I'm not giving new news, that he's announced that he's doing a Mystery Knit Along for the fall as well. Oh my goodness, I am definitely doing that. I can't wait. Like, I'm really looking forward to it. However, with that Mystery Knit Along going on, that means that I need to finish this because I cast on for the Penguono. It's very fun. Yet another Stephen West pattern. So I really like it's. I feel like it's pretty funny because I feel like when a lot of people knit Stephen West, yes, of course, there are the few who go with, colors that they generally use, but I feel like a lot of people decide that because they're knitting with Stephen West patterns and he shows you so many variations to knit these patterns with in color, that a lot of people just kind of feel free to really try a lot of different colors and play with different palettes. And yeah, I feel like that's just a lot of fun, and it's really enjoyable to do as a knitter. So I wanted to knit the smallest size because it's a 42-inch waist, or no, it's a 42-inch bust for the finished garment. And you need a fingering weight yarn for that size of panguano. So I used a fingering yarn with a skein of mohair, and it was seriously so small, the back panel. Like, I feel like it was teeny. Like, it almost seems like it would have fit Elodie as a cardigan. Now after knitting this piece, I wonder if maybe it would have worked, to be honest. So that was a size extra small. I decided then to knit 2 strands of fingering weight yarn along with a mohair, and that ends up being a size small. So this is how far I've gotten. I have the back panel completely finished, and I adore it. I really, really adore it. So for the entire pullover or cardigan or jacket, whatever you want to call it, I've decided that I am going to carry along an entire skein. Well, it'll definitely take more than one skein, but an entire strand of mohair along with it. And I'm using our Fresh Sheets colorway, which is an off-white, a cool toned off-white. And I think it will just really make all of the colors that I'm using just kind of pair and blend really nicely together while still having some of those really great standout pieces. So the first panel was done in our Snack Attack colorway, and I love this colorway. I dyed up quite a bit when I initially dyed it, and I haven't dyed it since, so there could be a couple of skeins of it left in the shop. I haven't had a look. I have a feeling that there aren't, but there might be. Like I said, I may be completely wrong. So this is the first panel, and it's completely seed stitch, and it's beautiful. So the next part, what I do is I pick up the sides and I'll do 3 welts, and then I'll do 3 welts over here. And I don't know if I want those to match or if I want them to be completely different colors. So I want to show you some of the yarns that I've pulled for this shawl. So here, I've caked them just so I have them ready. Here I have Fairy Nymph, Forest Nymph. It's called Forest Nymph. I don't even know the names of my own colorways. This is a new one, so. Glitter on Stellina, which I think is really fun. Here I have heart-shaped box. They're a little bit hard to see because I've caked them up. I could have grabbed full skeins, but I didn't. And then I grabbed Grandma Sue's geraniums, and I don't know if I want to use that one. I'm not sure how well that will pair with this particular project. We'll see. We'll see. I can definitely think about it. I don't know how many greens I necessarily want to put in here. If I mostly want to stick to every color except green. I like green, so I don't know why I'm thinking about that. Because I do have a mint green in here. Anyway, so Grandma Sue's geraniums. And then here I have pop art, which I have been dying to knit, and I've seen so many beautiful projects out of this. I have quite a few skeins of this in the shop. That's how it looks skeined up. That's how it looks caked up. And with it caked up, you kind of get a better representation of how it's going to look when it's knitted. I also want to cake these 2 colors up because I think, I'm pretty positive I want one of my welts to be Electric Feel, which is this neon yellow. I definitely will I-cord bind off my entire panguano in this colorway. I think it will just be a really, really nice pop of color, and I think it will tie it all together really nicely. So I will put some of this into the jacket. So the next colorway that I'm going to skein up and probably use for my first welt is Disaster Piece. I really like the different tones of reds, peaches, pinks, and then with the little splashes of black in there. I think it's just really nice. It's the same with Snack Attack. There's some really, really nice fine black speckles in there. I'm sure I'll be using a lot more of a Homespun House colors, but I'm just kind of pulling colors as I see and really want to use them. So it's really fun to get to use, you know, to make a whole sweater with all of my yarns that I dye and all of my favorite yarns that I've been dyeing to knit up and see how they look up close. And it's a lot of fun. I'm really, really enjoying it. And yeah, it's rewarding as a dyer. And I think having a coat knit entirely in a Homespun House yarns and with a huge selection, it's kind of a really, really special piece. So yeah, I've really, really been enjoying that. This was knit pretty much most of the time when we were at our holiday home, and so there are lots of good memories in there, and I've been really, really enjoying it. So I feel like my table behind me looks a little bit like a mess with these stacks of yarn. If you could only see what I see, it's not a mess, but there is just, I don't think there has ever been so much yarn in my studio. So in my studio, I don't keep shop yarn. Robert has an office across the hall from me, and that's where I keep all of the yarn that is currently in the shop. But here I keep yarn that needs to be skeined up and tied up and labeled. And I have a wholesale order going out tomorrow to Australia, and that all needs to be skeined up and labeled and sent out tomorrow. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was doing wholesale orders for a little while, but now I've opened it to where I'm doing one wholesale order every single week. So that's a lot of fun. I've been dyeing for the shop and then doing a wholesale order each week. On Friday, I'm shipping out to Florida. I'll start listing on the website different local yarn shops where you can get your yarn, a Homespun House yarn. So if you guys have a yarn shop that you would really, really love to sell a Homespun House yarn where you could get it locally, definitely mention it to the yarn shop owner, and they can shoot me an email and I can see if I have a spot open. But currently I am quite a bit out for wholesale orders, but that doesn't mean that I'm not open to them. So yeah, we had so much fun at the family house. It's owned by Robert's parents. It's not Robert and my family house, but it will be. We'll inherit it. And it's just really beautiful. It's kind of like a little village of people who just, some people live there, but a lot of people just have family homes, and it's surrounded by a lake. And I feel like when we've gone there, the lake hasn't been that busy. Like there's probably at the most 3 families there, which is really, really nice. A lot of the times when Elodie went, it was during Mittagsschlaf, which is a midday nap, and a lot of people take a midday nap. It's not just babies or children, it's their parents and people who aren't parents, single people, grandmas, grandpas, people of all ages. So it's usually pretty quiet. You have to be pretty quiet, and so we really enjoyed, like I said earlier, we really, really enjoyed going there and spending the time together. And we went for walks most days through the forest and gathered blackberries, or Brombeeren as they're called in German. And oh my goodness, I can remember when Elodie was littler, we would go walk searching for Brombeeren, and I wouldn't even be able to keep them in a jar because she would literally just shove them in her mouth and just keep eating them. And it's funny because as she's gotten a little bit older, she still really, really enjoys them, but her palate has changed a little bit. And for her, the ones in the forest seem a little quite sour. And Ruby, who is, about the peak age that Elodie really loved them, was the same way that Elodie was. She was just, her hands and her shirt and her mouth were just dripping with Brombeere juice. And I loved that she loved them, and I loved that Elodie loved them. She was eating them as well, but like I said, she definitely noted like, oh, that was a sour one, and she would have times where she would just crazy shake from the sourness. And I made so many wonderful photos and took so much beautiful video, and it's just always a really, really special place to go. So I designed the windswept shawl while I was there. That's a shawl design that I have. I haven't been designing a lot lately. A lot of you have been asking about the alpine shawl. I don't know when I'll get around to writing that pattern up. The funny thing is it wouldn't even take a lot of time. It's just the brain space for it, and also thinking about it. It's not something that I think about often, is writing that pattern up. I have advent calendars listed in the shop. I am making a lot of them this year. It's nice that I feel like my space has expanded. I can dye way more yarn than ever before. And so I really wanted to open up advent calendars to as many people as want them. I will be closing those soon though, because the number is getting to an amount that I feel like I can still handle and still really, really enjoy. So those advent calendars are not just going to have mini skeins in them. This time they'll have 20 gram minis. Last year they just had 10 gram minis, and I think they maybe had like a couple, maybe one or two progress keepers along with them. So you can still choose though if you want to get the 20 gram minis along with some goodies, or if you would like to get the 20 gram minis, goodies, and a full skein of yarn for the 25th day of Christmas. So, you know, there's a little bit of a price difference, obviously, getting a full skein of yarn along with the minis, but feel free to choose whatever you want, or don't choose if you don't want. But I'm really looking forward to it. I've already started ordering almost everything that I need for that. Those things should be coming in soon, and like I mentioned last podcast, everything will be dyed by the end of September and ready and hopefully packaged to send out in November. And it's going to be exciting. You guys are going to love opening them. And like I mentioned on Instagram and through my Instagram stories, I already know that as soon as I start popping those in the dye pots, Christmas music is going on. I love Bing Crosby, Rosemary Clooney. That was like a mix of those two names. I really, really adore Burl Ives. Oh my goodness. But I also, there's just so much good Christmas music, but that's what we listened to a lot growing up, and that's definitely what I will be listening to. I'll probably be listening to a bit more poppy music as well at times. I'm sure it's fun to imagine what I'm doing as I'm dyeing, so I'll be singing my heart out, that's for sure. And just having a really good time. So those will be dyed on, some will be dyed on Stellina, and some will be dyed on Soft Sock. So I am very excited. I will be starting those pretty soon. I'm sure I'll start some of those this week, to be honest. Yeah, I'm really, really, really looking forward to dyeing Christmas or holiday, or just treat yourself minis and a full skein. The full skein will definitely be non-repeatable, and the minis will most likely be non-repeatable. I think they will be non-repeatable minis, just because it's a lot of fun to completely experiment and just kind of do what my heart feels and what the music brings out, and I really, really look forward to doing it. There are a lot of other fantastic people doing advent calendars as well, so if a Homespun House advent calendar isn't for you and you're looking for one, there are definitely loads more. So I am getting an advent calendar as well, which I'm really, really looking forward to. Amber of Maker's Haven. I love her yarn, and I love her, and everything she puts together is beautiful. So she and I will be swapping each other's advent calendars. So I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. It's funny I'm talking about Christmas already. It's far away, but actually it's not. I feel like once you become a parent, time just flies. So we've been having a fantastic summer. I think I'm going to look to go on a holiday next weekend again. We've been talking about either going to Spain, Greece, or Italy, but probably Spain or Greece. It will definitely be one of those. Robert would like to go to Turkey. I've mentioned this before, but yeah, we definitely want to go somewhere next Saturday or Sunday and fly for probably a week. Not too long, because again, the cats, we have someone who can watch them, but we don't want to leave them for too long. So anyway, it's been amazing chatting with you. It's been so much fun sharing with you the knitting projects that I'm working on. I hope I have finished my Ziri cardigan, or pullover rather, and I hope that I've at least done the welts next time that we talk. We may not talk next week, we may not talk for a month. You guys know how it is with me, but I really look forward to seeing you when I see you. I hope that I see some of you guys at Rhinebeck, because if you didn't watch last episode, I'm going. So whenever I see you, I'll see you soon.